So for step 23, we're going to be building the steering linkage. And as you can see, we've got these two parts, C2 and C4. I have them up there. And then we've got this metal bar, which you can see right there. The tie rod is going to connect them. And then we have this one, which is a bit more heavy duty. And those are D5 parts that are then going to be screwed onto this MD8, which is a threaded shaft. Now I have all of what we're going to be needing for this step already laid out, but I think what we're going to do is let's work on this one first, which is using the MD8, and you can see that it's going to be 5 millimeters in between. And then this one, there's two of them, which have to be screwed onto those threaded shafts, and they want 9 millimeters apart for that. So I think we'll do that part first before we put the ball connectors on and connect this with the tie rod. So I'll just set this up and we'll start putting those together. Okay, so let's grab our D5 part and we'll grab our MD8, which is the single threaded shaft. And let's just see how this goes on, and then I'll do the other side. Because sometimes they go on quite nicely, and it looks like this one probably is going to. So we'll just keep twisting in alternate directions. Well, one side's going in, this side's not as easy, so actually let's just keep spinning. I think that's going to have to be turned. Okay, so there we go. And if you put it actually on this diagram, it's pretty much exactly the 5 millimeters if the diagram was totally correct. But the other thing that you can obviously do is measure it, which I've done, and it's definitely at the 5 millimeter gap. So this one is done. So now we can move on to the other one. We'll grab our longer MD7 threaded shafts. We'll start it there. And we'll grab the other one and start it there. And then we'll just keep spinning until we've got both of them in, and then we can measure the distance in between once again. So you get the idea. We've got to just keep spinning in reverse directions until you've got the right width. And I've measured these out to both 9 millimeters. I've used them on the ruler just to check as well. They're both 9 millimeters. So those are done. This is done. Now what we need to do is put the ball connectors onto these pieces. So let's start with this one. You can see the way that is shaped, that we're going to end up needing a ball connector on the back side of this. And of course the easiest way to do this is to grab your box wrench, and in fact the easier way to do it is to actually put it into the box wrench. And again, make sure I've got that. Yes. So we're going to spin this in. Yeah, that looks okay. And there we go. So there's one in and ready to go. On this one, you can see there's a notch there, and you can see that this side is higher than the other. I mean, it looks quite a bit different on the other side, but if you've got the notch in the right place, you know that the ball connector there's one on the top and one on the bottom. So again, let's do it this way. Stick that in there and stick that in there. Make sure it's level. It's not, so let's just unscrew it again. Make sure that looks right. Yes, now it does. Oops, that got shifted. There we go. No, that's not, that has moved, so just hold up. There we go. Screw that ball connector all the way down. There we go. So we got the top one on, now we need the bottom, and again that's coming in from the back side. So stick that in there. And start screwing that in. Yeah. Whoops. I just want to make sure that it's going in fairly level. I don't want it completely out of whack when we start tightening it up. Yep, that's fine. There we go. So that's what it should look like. We've got the ball connector, one on top, one on the bottom, and then on this one we've got it on the bottom. So now what we can do is start to attach them to these pieces here. So if we grab our pliers, the first thing I see is we're going to take one of them and we've got to snap it in place with the pliers. So I think what we'll do, yes. So I actually did that one, so that is on. With the camera and everything else, I was finding it kind of difficult. So what we're gonna do, which I think is the easiest way to do it, is we're gonna take this. We know that that goes into there. So I'm just gonna let it sit on there. And then, whoop, we're gonna put it in from there. And there we go. So that is on too. So now we'll take this. We know that that is how it's supposed to sit. So this is going to go into the little hole on the top there. And then in and bend it back. There we go. And on this side, same idea. We're going to go in and bend it back. So ultimately, that is what this should end up looking like. And then we've got to snap this one on this side too. So I'll go ahead and do that, which I think with this one, might be able to do it just like this. Well, actually, I think it's the same idea. So we're gonna do it this way. I'm gonna put that down, grab the pliers, and snap it on. So again, there we go. That is ultimately how it's going to look. As you can see how that's going to be. So we are finished with step 23. So we can now move on to step 24, and we're going to attach the steering linkage.